All right, fantastic. Here we are, Liam. Beginning of January 2026, and it's time to talk about the amazing Accelerator program. Why don't we start by just, before we get to some of these questions we've been asked, do you want to
Yeah.
tell everybody the origin story of how this all began?
Yeah, yeah. It actually began when we was together, and I didn't mention it because Alex messaged me, the guy at Uni Days, and he messaged me just saying, "What's your thoughts on doing a startup event?" And I said, "I'm definitely up for it." And from then, 6 months later, we're here. We've created something that is really exciting. We've got people involved. We're getting sponsors. We've got Simon Squibb as a judge, and everything's coming together nicely. So yeah, it's been a journey, and it's been very exciting, and yeah, it's been fun as well.
It certainly has, and I'm so glad that you've involved us at Canopy in this as well. So,
Yeah,
let's we'll try and handle some of these questions that we've been asked. And the point today, for anybody who's watching this right now, watching it back on the recordings, the point today is to try and answer off some of these FAQs, these questions we've been asked as we've been going along. And there's just under a month now to the application deadline, so we're going to do a couple more of these along the way if there's anything else that people need. But we're
yeah.
really just looking to make sure that everybody knows everything they need to know, and we really hope that people will apply. One of the first questions, Liam, is what is the criteria for applying? So, what do people have to be? What do they have to know in order to get onto this program?
So there is really no barriers to entry. So from the beginning, this event we've created it so there is no barriers. All you need to answer is 4 questions. It's all online. You don't actually have to have a startup that's built. You can just have an idea, and our aim is to turn that idea into something you can pitch in April. So all you really need is a Uni Days account. I believe you have to be over 18, and you just have to have an idea. That's all you need. And
And
yeah,
the questions are pretty straightforward, right?
yeah, really straightforward. Basically, what's your idea? Why do you want to join the program? Who are you building it with? Is it just yourself, or is it the team? And why are you building it? And that's it. It's very we've made it very simple, and I think yeah, we've considered that it's turning the idea into something. You don't actually have to have that company already there.
Fantastic. And I know when we were discussing this, we had some great meetings there in London, and we got some help
Yeah,
from Rita as well along the way to sort of really inform us and rethink what we were doing. And the spirit that Unidays brought was the idea that opportunity isn't evenly distributed around the UK. So that
yeah,
they wanted us to build a program that gave everybody an opportunity, regardless of the subject they were studying, the postcode they were living in or studying in, and the bank balance that they had.
yeah,
So things like changing how the questions were so they were as straightforward as that is about having a very low barrier to entry, but also about like the removing the barriers for everybody. It doesn't matter if this is football, fashion, or photography,
yeah,
tech or non-tech. There's an opportunity for everybody on this, and that's super important for the mindset that we've all got, and actually the shared intent that we're all together on, right? So Canopy, Student Venture, and Unidays are all joined up behind this model. And I
yeah,
guess that's also why people like Simon Squibb are coming along to the panel, right? Because they believe in this sort of stuff, and they believe in entrepreneurship as a tool for our own living our own dreams and making our own futures on our own terms.
yeah. It's literally like the stars have aligned. I think us three and then Simon Squibb coming along. It's like we're all on the same mission, trying to achieve the same thing, and it's literally perfect.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, and the meetings are amazing. The way we sort of compound everything together. So for people that are watching this now, and thank you very much for making time. If you've got some comments or questions that you want to jump in with, put them into YouTube, and they'll come up for us on StreamYard where we're recording this, and we'll be able to answer them off. We can also show them on screen so that people can see them at the same time. Let's give you a small description before we get to some of the other questions about how this is all going to work. So if you don't know already, when you're watching this, the application deadline is the end of the month. From all of the applications that we get, we're going to pick out a top 100. That's going to be a joint decision led by Unidays, but with us all looking about the different things that are there in the ideas, and particularly how they align to the panel of investors and the partners that Unidays have that are coming to the event at the end of this. Because the goal for us and the challenge we've got is to land the most successful people through this program with investment in front of this panel of sort of 5 amazing investors in London led by Simon Squibb, and then with the opportunity to meet with partners and potential customers from the Unidays partners list. So part of the way that end thing works is that you could end up with money, but you could end up something even better, which is customers, right? Or that enablement that you were looking for. And so maybe it's Uber, or maybe it's Apple, or some of those amazing brands that are connected with Unidays, or maybe it's Unidays themselves, and you'll get this opportunity, this access point. That's what we're putting together for you. So the top 100 go into a program which Canopy's developed, and it's all online, so you can be from anywhere. We developed it for our own ideation program. We've enhanced it for what's going on for this program. One of the first things you get on the first day is video interviews from each of the investors who are going to be in the panel on the final day in London. And so you can see what they're looking for, and you can look at their personalities right from day one, and that'll inform your sort of 4 or 5 weeks across the program, thinking, how am I going to be ready for this person? How can I get the best out of the opportunity, and pick which one of the 5 investors you want to speak to, okay? And like kind of get that mindset in. Then we'll take you through the ideation process, which is like looking at your idea and then building out on what makes it a good idea and how it compares to other ideas you've got, and just kind of sorting that stuff out. Then how to identify your perfect customer in the second week, and then how to interview them and find out their needs. And then in the third week, we're going to help you build a sort of basic example, an MVP, whatever your idea is. Like say, whether you're in football, fashion, or photography, or tech, or non-tech, these same things apply, but testing it out with your customers. And then the fourth week is all about how you pitch that idea in front of those investors, and how we kind of structure that presentation with you. And there's going to be some mentoring support along the way. So it's a pretty awesome program. And then, of course, once the final 10 have been chosen that come to London, everybody's in that final 100 gets an invite to the event, but the final 10 get the big show. Okay, so what we've designed is 2 days for everybody, where in that top 10, where you're going to get some final in-person pitch practice, and that's when the first time we'll all be together. And I forgot to mention on the program each week, you've got this asynchronous content and this stuff, and then every Friday you've got a group coaching call where everybody gets together and can actually work out things together and ask questions and do what you need. And along the way, you've got a place where you can all chat together and enjoy that conversation with each other, right? So the first time we'll all see each other in person will be on that day before the pitching in London. And you get that pitch practice in person, and then we're going to do a bit of a photo shoot. Then we're going to have a dinner. So the top 10 are going to have dinner with the investors, really get to know each other and kind of have that informal conversation. And then the following day, you're going to get a breakfast with the partners and the people that you could be working with as customers and stuff. And then, of course, we're going to walk into the big event where the investors will be there in a panel. You already know them and hopefully love them. And then you're going to get your 5 minutes to pitch. And then the winners are the ones that are going to be called the People's Choice of the Day. But the real winners are if you get your investment and you get your customers and you get rolling from that point, you're going to get a lot of visibility as well. But there's some amazing things there. And Canopy will be represented. We'll have our fund there. There's a 100K check that will be on the table for the right people at the end of that day. You know, if you land it in front of Rachel with that checkbook, there will literally be a 100K investment for you on that day. Okay, so we've got some questions in the chat. Would it be possible to have your LinkedIn? Great question. Do you want mine? Do you want Liam's? Do you want both? Thanks for the stream. What is the date when the 100 selected are announced? Furthermore, what is the current number of applicants? Okay, I'll let you carry that one, Liam, because you're sort of your student venture are sort of filtering all these things through, right?
So the aim to get everyone filtered is by the week after the end of the application process. So 1 week after, so around the 7th of February. That's when we want to announce everyone. And so then there's a good amount of time for the the event to take place, or for the accelerator to take place.
Yeah, and we've got Monday the 16th of February as the start date for the accelerator. And then that'll sort of take about 4 to 6 weeks to process everything through. Then there's a little gap. And then April the 17th is the big event in London, which we're all excited about even now. And it's not even happened yet. So okay, just dropping into the chat for you the LinkedIn's that you've asked for. Okay. And hopefully that comes out on YouTube. What are you looking for? Okay, so one of the questions, the FAQs, is this just tech? And I hope that that's been covered off. You know, this is for tech and non-tech. I use the silly phrase, you know, it's football, it's fashion, it's photography, it's all good. Now, obviously, the investors at the end of this, they've all got different things that they're looking for. So Simon Squibb may want to put in £10. He may be interested in freelance photography. I don't know. We haven't interviewed him yet. We haven't got that thing in there. I know what Rachel's looking for, and she's looking for stuff that aligns with the Canopy Fund, and that is stuff that we're looking for founders who are serving their own demography. We're looking for really early stage founders. We are looking for tech, and Rachel will be really keen, particularly to see female founders, because she and a lot of the investors into Canopy have a great interest in female entrepreneurship. But we're open to founders who basically don't have the strong networks for their own friends and family rounds of investment. And that's what our fund has been set up for. So we're looking for those people that are talented, got great ideas, but don't have that strong network already. Okay, got a couple of questions coming through. Let's, before we get on to the next bit. Perfect. Could you give a little more insight into the structure of the program in terms of hours committed and expected? Oh, that's a really good question. Thank you very much for that, Samuel. All right, so when at Canopy we designed this, what we did was we took the use case and the persona of a working mum taking her idea from I've got a great idea I want to work on, and getting it to the point where she could raise her first investment. So we built the program to be something that she could fit around her life and her work and her other load of stuff and the kids and the family and everything. And we figured that if we built it for her, everybody else would find it easier. So what we've got is an asynchronous bit of content that launches on the Monday of each week. And that gives you a sort of set of lessons and things to work through and some exercises, which you can then do in your own way between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then on Friday at lunchtime, there's a webinar and an opportunity to interact and to talk about it, where you'll also meet the other people that are on the course. So the other of the top 100. That will be recorded, and the transcript as well will be put back onto the platform. That way all the lessons are. So then you've got everything in one place. If you miss one, you can go back and watch that, and you'll have the transcript. So you can interrogate that in your own LLM as well, and kind of pull out all the information that you're looking for. We mentioned the different things that you go through. So you go through the ideas, you go through the interviews, you go through the MVP building, and then you go through the pitching stuff, and you get support from the Canopy mentors. We've got 17 mentors based in Portugal, in the UK, in America, and in India. And you can tap into them for on-demand support and advice all the way through the program. And then you've got people like me and Liam as well who can help out along the way. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Samuel. If you want a little bit more, just drop something in the chat. All right, Liam, this looks like one for you from Harry. I think I've already applied, but would like to update my application. Is that possible?
That is possible. That is possible. If you can, at the moment, if you could email me at studentventure.io and let me know what you want to change, we can update that for you. And then, yeah, we'll get that updated. And if that's the case for anyone else, just give me either a message on LinkedIn or an email, and yeah, we'll update that for you.
Brilliant. Okay, now this is a question I actually don't know the answer to. Can international students apply as well?
I believe so. Yes, they can definitely apply. I don't think there's any reason why not. If they've got a Unidays account and they go to university, then yeah, it's absolutely fine. There's no reason why. It's literally 18 and over, Unidays account, and you go to university, and that's all the requirements.
So it's undergraduate, it's postgraduate, it's PhD students, it's a lot. All right, fantastic. Now this question, hello, I just wonder, even Accelerator program handling B2B SaaS as well? Yeah, we can definitely handle B2B SaaS. We've done a lot of those in the Canopy past. And for those of you that don't know anything about Canopy, we've been, our origin story was we started in Somerville, Massachusetts, just over a decade ago. At the moment, we have about 700 founders in programs. We've supported everything from a taxi boat company through to super high growth technology companies. And we basically work with founders to help them do stuff that they're trying to do and to thrive. And our ecosystem covers everything from how you get your early stage idea out to how you exit your company. I've just started my 11th company in the last couple of weeks, which is the investment fund. Liam's already doing amazing with student venture and the other things that he's been involved with. There are founders across our community who've far exceeded my abilities and stuff. And what's really cool is that the founders then do peer support and help everybody and mentor and coach each other. So we're really based on the premise that everybody in the community has got something to give and everybody's got something to learn. And I'm privileged to say at the age of 52 that I'm learning every day from the different founders, as well as supporting and coaching and sometimes teaching different skills. Okay. Oh, great question. I'm loving these questions. Thank you so much, everybody. Right, Kamal is asking, can we be a team of 4? Liam, are you going to shut them out because they're a team of 4?
No. Yeah, so each application is just for the startup, so it's not individual. So if there's a team of 4, you just count as one application. So we just count the startup. So yeah, you're not going to be kicked out if you're a team of 4.
And if anything, you know, what I'd say from an investor perspective, at least for 2 of the investors that I know on the panel, being a team of 2 or more is really important to them and their thesis. But like I say, all of the 5 investors, they're going to have different needs. And so when you see the interviews, we decide, okay, I'm a team of 4. These guys are perfect for me, but that one won't like me, that kind of thing. And what we do at Canopy and what Rachel will be looking for, she'll advocate a lot for a team of 3. She'll be looking for a visionary, a technologist, and what we call an order filler, or somebody who can sell the idea and market it to people. So if you're that kind of team, probably Rachel's going to be your person. But you know, teams are good. Highest failure rate groups in entrepreneurship are usually solo founders. That doesn't mean that every solo founder fails. It just means it's the hardest grind. And we've got ways of supporting those people and augmenting them and giving them advisory boards and also helping with mentorship and stuff. So there's all sorts of ways we can help you succeed.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're being asked here a great question about the innovative founder visa. We're not supporting that program. We're not set up to support that over this iteration. Maybe in the future, I don't know. And certainly I've been part of visa endorsement processes in the past and looked after companies that have gone through that innovative founder visa. But we're not set up for that this time. So sorry about that one. We can't help there. Okay, great questions. Thank you, everybody. Keep them coming. All right. One question, Liam, which I thought was a bit harsh, but so I'll give it to you, see if you can cope with it. Why haven't I heard of this program before? That was a great question.
That is a great question. I'm not too sure. It's we've advertised throughout uni days. We've done a lot of stuff on Instagram, a lot of stuff on LinkedIn. We've spoken to many universities to try and get that through to students. And it doesn't seem like they've done it yet, but we're hoping for these campaigns to go out in mid-January. So hopefully it'll get out. But I think it's the people who have already joined. If you can spread the message and get more people involved, I think that will be amazing as well, because we're trying to create a positive impact and change the way entrepreneurs, like what you're doing, Stu, with what you've just built with the friends and family raise. If we can change the way early talent get funding, it'll be game changing, and it will help a huge number of students and young entrepreneurs be successful. So yeah, if you can spread this, it'll be amazing.
And look, you know, we all know there's a high unemployability at the moment around. If you're a graduate, we know it's pretty tricky to get the job. That's one of the reasons student venture even exists in the first place, right? Is to help bridge that gap. And creating your own future through entrepreneurship is another way to bridge that gap. So it's an amazing opportunity, a really great time for it. It's the first time it's ever been run, which might be one of the reasons that people haven't heard of it before. And what's really cool is what we've heard from Uni Days is if this goes well, they want to run this kind of thing every year, and actually are interested to even look at it as a global thing, because Uni Days isn't just about the UK, it's a global platform, got something crazy like 30 million students on it. And we'd love to think that this is the start of a journey where every year now there will be a global program, and it's all about how successful this one is and how many people get money at the end of it, how many people get customers, and how many people enjoy it. So it's our job to make that happen and to try and create that platform for the future. All right, another question just dropped in. Hi guys, if part of the team is made up of university graduates, but some of the team are current uni students, does that matter? Great question, Liam. You want to cover that?
No, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. So again, if just uni day members and over 18, it's absolutely fine. So we're taking students and graduates onto the program. So
as long as the person who applies has got a Uni Days account, it's all good, right?
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, exactly that. So just the person who applies, because for example, you might have in your team an advisor or someone who's older. That doesn't stop you from applying. It is just the founder or the person who's putting the application forward.
Brilliant. And look at this, Samuel's back for another bite of the questions. Thank you so much, Samuel. Okay, in terms of the 100K ready to be invested, is this likely to be divided between several of the 10 finalists? No, Rachel's checkbook is 100K each time. So she'll be putting that into each company. She's got a target to put 10 investments of 100K out next year. And the first check is going to be written on April the 17th as a function of this event. So part of what she's hoping to see is that there is a really great startup that she can put that money into. But that she's got another 9 checks in that checkbook. You know, it's a bit of an old way of putting it, but I don't think anybody uses a checkbook nowadays. It's some crazy guy in a bank in on the Strand or something. But yeah, so she's got the ability to deploy 10 of those, but only one is currently earmarked for this event. And the other 4 investors have different amounts that they can invest. One is a scout for Ada Ventures. And they have a great big fund. They could invest in 20 different companies and put sort of 250, 300 grand into each one. So thank you, Sammy. I hope that answers your questions. Okay, another one we had before today. Oh yeah, I like this one because we've got a really good answer. I'm even trying to answer it myself. What if I'm not one of the top 100 that goes through? This is one of my favorite questions, okay? Because we discussed this in one of our meetings and we came up with a really great idea. So let's imagine there are 3 million students or something crazy like that in the UK, and let's say 1,000 apply or 2,000 apply, and the top 100 go through. For everybody else, we're going to set up a second program. So we thought long and hard about this, and the second program is something that we're going to charge £1 for. So you opt in for it and you'll pay one whole pound to do it, and then we'll take you through a parallel process to the fast track of the 100. So you're going to get lots of the same stuff, but in a different group, in a different way. You're going to do the ideas, the interviews, the MVPs, and the presentation stuff. And the best of those will then drop out and back into the final selection process for the final 10. What it also means, though, is for your pound, you're going to get the same kind of education experience and opportunity to learn the core skills around design thinking and entrepreneurship that the others are. And we hope that's our gift to you, that just for that £1, and I'll tell you in a minute why we're suggesting it's £1, that you then have the tools in you to think about entrepreneurship in part of your future. We're not necessarily expecting you to be launching the best ideas or anything at that point, or maybe you will, but we hope we've got the tools over to you that give you that in your future and that ability to kind of look at everything with this design thinking mindset. The pound is really simple. Like we could have charged 1,000 or 10,000 even for access to this program, but the pound is to say we don't want to make a barrier, but we do want you to commit to it. And we figure if even you pay just £1, the act of putting that credit card over changes your brain and says, do you know what, I'm going to do all of this. And what we don't want you to do is say, I want to be in that program, and then 2 weeks in just stop being there. We've tried to make it so it's really cool for you, and we really hope that you get something out of it, but you'll only get something out of it if you do it all. And it's something you do at your own pace in your own way, but we don't want you to stop halfway. What do you reckon, Liam? Does that summarize what we talked about in the meeting?
It does, yeah. It's super cool. It's super cool. It's really cool what you guys are doing.
Okay, I think I've got most questions done now. Well, we've got two, right? The first question is, what can I get out of this? So Liam, if you're a student watching this today, what's the real opportunity at the end of this?
I think one we haven't touched on is just network. You'll be connecting with 100 people, all trying to pursue ideas. And I think that's super valuable, especially long term. You might find people who might be your next co-founder. You might find ideas or find out that your idea is similar to another person and join forces. So I think network will be the main thing. Second off, I think that it's that experience of pitching in front of people in that pitch practice if you do get to the final 10. And it's not always just about investment, but it is that distribution angle as well. So just standing up there, telling people about it, you potentially could get your first customer. Simon Squibb could be potentially might shout it out or something like that. And then that
Might
is
do
just
an interview or a vid or something,
exactly,
right?
exactly. And I can definitely see him doing that. So it's that distribution as well is just as valuable as investment. So number one, I'd say network. Two, just that pitching and that pitch process and getting your idea out there. And three is just working on that idea and just having that 4 weeks to nail it down, and understand what you really want to do and pursue something that you want to turn into reality. And so I would say that's what you can get out of the program.
Well, and sort of building on your point about network, Liam, if you're a student in Abertay University and you're on this program where you could very well be meeting a student from Bangor or from even Bangalore or from somewhere in London, right? And now maybe you felt limited where you were, or you hadn't met the people that you needed to where you were, but because of this program, we could be anywhere, and you're now going to find those resources, those people, that inspiration that you couldn't find before. And I think that's pretty special. It's one of the upsides of having a program that's distributed. I like programs in person because you get the intensity of those interactions, but what you lose is the only people that can be there are the ones that can either afford to stay there or afford the time to come away from what else they were doing. The beauty of this program, it fits around you, and you're going to meet people from so many different places who might not have trips to London or Sheffield or wherever we've chosen to host a week of acceleration.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last question, which I think we kind of answered, but just to make sure we've covered it off for everybody, tell me about the London final. What does that really mean? So, I mean...
So the London final, 10 students will be pitching for £100,000 in front of Simon Squibb, 4 other judges, in front of mentors, advisors, and a crowd of people. And 10 will be doing it, and there'll be one person to receive the 100K. The day before, there's a dinner. In the morning, there's breakfast, and there's also pitch practice as well. So, yeah, that's what I've got to say to that question. It's super exciting.
And those 5 investors that are going to be there, they've all got bits of money. Rachel's the one with the Canopy Fund, which I can talk about that a bit more, but they've all invested in stuff before, and they're all able to invest in stuff from the program. They've all got different needs. They've all got different theses and ways they think about stuff. That's why we're interviewing them and getting to the program. But just to meet these people and have the opportunity to chat with them, even if you don't want investment, maybe pitching and saying, I don't want your investment, but I do want your help. And having that opportunity to get help from these kind of people is amazing. I don't know Simon Squibb, but I know the other 4 investors, and I know that each one of them could launch you into an amazing future if they choose to, because you're a good fit for the way they do things and the sort of things they're looking for. So, it'd be exciting to see it. And what we've also made sure is that room covers a lot of different thoughts and processes and demographics, and sort of the thesis covers many different areas. So we're not putting, how can I put this? Many rooms with investment are criticized for basically looking like me, being middle-aged white men. And that room is going to have some middle-aged white men in, but it's going to have some other folks in it too. And one of the reasons it's criticized as investment is because there's a bias inherently to investment, that you tend to invest in things that you understand, that you've seen before, and that you trust. And if you're all of a certain type, then you know and trust certain things of a certain type. So we've made sure that room isn't like that. So everybody's got a great opportunity and somebody who can empathize with them on that panel. All right. Well, I think we've covered every question that I got given before tonight, and I think we've covered every question that's in the list here. Unless you've got something else, everybody, you want to chip in. Liam, how should we finish off today? You know, what do you want to say to people?
It's a big question. There's a lot I'd like to say. I think if you just tell your friends about what we're doing and just spread the message, we're doing a big thing here. It's creating a huge impact in the ecosystem of entrepreneurship for early talent, and yeah, it's gonna change the way early talent build startups, I believe, and get funding, especially with what Canopy are building with their fund. So yeah, I'd like to just finish with that.
Thanks, Liam. And I sort of echo that and encourage everybody to spread the word. We're going to be doing some activation events in Birmingham and London and other places over the next few weeks, and some other webinars. And you're welcome to reach out to us. But look, this is an opportunity for everybody. Yes, 10 people are going to get the most fantastic opportunity, but the 100 that go through that program are going to get great opportunities. And everybody who applies is going to have the opportunity for just £1 to go into an amazing program and get that opportunity too. And we are here helping you, because the secret sauce and the raison d'etre for all our organizations is to support founders to thrive, to support students to thrive. And we just want to build this and help everybody. And it doesn't just like do something for us as a business, it does something for us as people. We all want to do this, and you can see it in the room, the way we're building ideas and putting things together. It's because there's such a shared intent. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in today, wish everybody every success, and I hope to see everybody who's been on the call today and on the webinar and watching it apply again, iterate again, keep sending messages to Liam and making some changes to your applications. Give them as much work as you can. And I look forward to seeing the top 100 in the program in February. Thank you, Liam. Thank you, everybody. I think we'll call it, shall we?
Yep.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody.